All right, welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this webinar today, our special community webinar on using our brand new One Degree Common App tool. My name is Sean Snavely, and I'm the Community Navigator for San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm joined today by my wonderful coworker, Cecilia Mejia, and she's going to take a minute to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to have you here and join us for this Common App webinar that we're having. I am the Community Navigator for Los Angeles, and I'll be supporting Sean in answering any questions that you might have. Please use our Padlet, and Sean will be discussing in a few moments, but I'll be here to provide assistance. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Cecilia. And thank you for supporting us today. Like Cecilia said, if you have any questions during the presentation, you can go to our Padlet One Degree chat page. The link is also in the description for the YouTube live stream. So if you don't have a chance to write this down or go to your browser, you can also click the link in the description of the video. We are going to be using the Padlet chat just for to make sure that we're keeping our community safe. We disabled the chat for today, the live chat, and also the comments on the video, just to make sure that we're not opening our community up to any negative comments or feedback. And so we are going to be using the Padlet site throughout the training today. So Cecilia will be keeping a close eye on that, and we will do our best to answer all of your questions. We're going to get started by introducing you to One Degree. So One Degree is a searchable database of community resources in the San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles. We also happen to be in Gainesville, Florida, and we just recently opened a chapter in New York City. So we are expanding. One Degree's mission is to empower individuals to create a path out of poverty for themselves and for their communities. And with this mission, we put people first and foremost in all of the work that we do. So our community is at the heart of our work, and we continue to engage with them to make sure that we're meeting their needs. With that, our website is private and secure. So we are HIPAA compliant, meaning that just like if you were to go to your doctor's office, everything you tell your doctor is completely confidential. The same is true about our website. Everything that you put on our One Degree page and in our Common App tool is safe and secure and is protected by HIPAA compliance. So we take your security extremely seriously, and we make sure that our team is put through proper protocols to make sure that we are protecting all of your information. With that, we also adhere to data standards. So we follow an internal verification process of all of the resources that are available on our One Degree page. We work directly with community partners to make sure that we have the most updated information, and we listen to and seek out our community's feedback. So we actively go out and look for your opinions about what services are the most helpful and what we can do to help connect people to the resources they need. So what is the One Degree Common App? Why are we all here today? So the One Degree Common App is a public benefits enrollment application that individuals and families can use to apply for Medi-Cal, which is health insurance, or CalFresh, which is food stamps, and other benefits like the San Francisco Parks and Rec Scholarship. How does the Common App work? Oops, sorry, 1 second. There we go. The Common App allows you to save, track, and complete multiple applications for yourself and your family all in one place. So the Common App works by suggesting programs that can help your current needs, saving you time by completing one form for many programs, and helping you to stay organized and able to track your status as your applications are being processed. So the Common App is currently available in English and in Spanish. And before you begin, you want to make sure you select your language preference. So the Common App is currently available in the 9 counties of the Bay Area. as well as Los Angeles. If you're not in one of those counties, you can still apply for CalFresh or Medi-Cal using the links that are available on our Common App page. And I'll show you those when we get to our live demonstration. So to start with, you want to select your county. This will help us find programs available to you in your area. Then you'll select which benefits you are wanting to apply to. So you can see here, this is what's available for San Francisco. So food stamps, San Francisco Rex and Park Scholarship, and subsidized health insurance through Medi-Cal. If you wanted to read more about what these programs offer, you can click on the Read Program Details next to each of these applications. So there are a few required permissions that we ask before you continue your application. These are just to make sure that we have your permission to ask certain questions. So the first is that you're willing to create a one degree account. The second is that we can ask you for information about yourself and your household members. And that we can ask you about your income and your household members' income. This just helps us to identify what programs you qualify for. So there are a few optional permissions that can help complete your application, but they're not required. Sharing this information with us may speed up the time it takes to process your application. So these optional permissions to continue your application are if we can ask about you or your family members' social security numbers, and if we can ask you about you and your family members' citizenship and immigration status. Again, these are optional permissions. They'll help us to complete your application and may speed up the time it takes to process the application, but we will still submit your application even if you do not answer these questions. So the first required permission that we covered was that you are willing to create a one degree account. If you already have a one degree account, you don't need to create a new account. Your one degree account will work with our Common App tool. So you would just need to sign in. But if you do not have a one degree account, you'll have to create one, and it doesn't take very long to do. You just have to have your email or cell phone number. And then you'll create a password, and then you'll hit continue. And it's as simple as that to set up your one degree account. Once you have your one degree account, you can start in on your application. So let's take a deeper look at what benefits are available through our Common App application. So we first have CalFresh, which is a program for low-income households that provides a monthly benefit to buy healthy and nutritious food. This CalFresh is based on, your eligibility is based on your income and the number of people in your household. So you can see here a little bit more about eligibility for CalFresh. This is a current table of what the monthly income limit is and the max amount of benefit you would receive monthly, depending on your household size. There's no limit to the number of people you can apply for. However, the people you can apply for must live in your home and buy and eat meals with you in your home. If you have children less than 22 years of age living with you in the home, you must apply for them and their family, if any, even if they buy and eat meals separately from your family. So if you are applying with more than 10 people through our Common App tool, we ask that you contact us so we can help submit your application. So while there's no limit to the number of people you can apply for, if you're applying with more than 10 folks in your household, we will have to assist you in getting that application submitted to the county. So next we have Medi-Cal, which is health insurance. This is healthcare. We have Medi-Cal, also known as subsidized health insurance. Medi-Cal is a program that offers free or low-cost health coverage for children and adults with limited income and resources. If you qualify, you can enroll in Medi-Cal year-round. Your Medi-Cal eligibility is also based on your income and current resources. You can see more about the requirements on the Medi-Cal website. And you can also, I'll show you in our live demo where you can see a link to the Medi-Cal page to see more about eligibility and what all is offered with the Medi-Cal benefit. If you don't qualify for Medi-Cal, just a reminder, you might qualify for Covered California. So make sure to check those options too if you still need medical coverage. So again, here is a table of the maximum annual or yearly earnings here for household size for Medi-Cal eligibility. And this came off of Medi-Cal's website. And so if you follow the link that is available through the Common App tool, you can go and see this table there as well. So there are four particular sections of the Common App. The first is our Common Information section. Second is our specific application questions. Third is our space to upload documents that may be needed to complete your application. And lastly, you would review and sign your application. So we're going to dive into what those four parts look like before we go on to our live on-site demo. So our common information section is just your basic information that's required for enrollment across all of the programs you're applying for. So this is really what helps save time in our Common App tool, is that all of your contact information, your name, your gender, your date of birth, your address, and all of your household information is only needed once instead of having to do it multiple times for multiple applications. So this is just a general look here at our common information section. So this is where you would be starting in your application, and do remember that you can return to it at any time. You don't have to complete the Common App application in one setting. You can save and log out and come back to it. So say you don't necessarily have all of the answers to the questions that you're going to be asked, you can save and come back later and complete your application. So the second section is the specific application questions. These are questions that are specific to the programs you're applying for. This includes income for you and your household, resources you and your household might have. So that would be things like big money in your bank account, if you happen to have a savings account of any kind, other financial resources you might have that's outside of the money you're paid by an employer. And then your monthly expenses like rent and utilities and other bills you might have to pay throughout the month. So this is what your specific application questions will look like. This is just to review the benefits you will need, and it'll take you through the specific questions for CalFresh if you selected CalFresh, and Medi-Cal if you selected Medi-Cal. If you selected CalFresh and you went through the entire application and you decided, oh, I actually needed to apply for Medi-Cal as well, you can go back in and add Medi-Cal to your application and complete the Medi-Cal application at a later time. You don't have to do both of them at the same time, but you are able to do both of them at the same time. So here's an example of the specific application questions for Medi-Cal. So it gives you a list here of things you'll need in the specific application questions for Medi-Cal. And so if you don't have these on hand, again, you can save your application and come back when you do have this information. And again, your social security number and your immigration status are optional. So if you clicked that you are willing to provide those when you started your application, those will appear, but it's not required for you to submit your application. So the third section is to upload documents. So some programs you're applying to require additional documents to be submitted with your application. So for instance, a copy of your photo ID and utility bill. These are the documentations that we ask you to upload through the Common App. So you'll have to submit a photo identification and a utility bill to be able to complete your application through the Common App tool. But you'll also have an opportunity to submit other documents. So for instance, CalFresh usually asks you to submit proof of income. And so you can submit that through the Common App tool as well and upload that document, but it's not required for you to upload that document to submit your application. So you can see here, these are the two required, the picture identification and the current utility bill statement. And we'll show you how to upload those when we're on the website. So finally, to review and sign your application. So you want to make sure all of your information is correct in each section. If you need to make edits, you can use the blue edit pencil, which I'll show you when we're on the website. So this is what the review and sign screen looks like. And so you want to read through what you're agreeing to for Medi-Cal and for CalFresh. And if you applied for Parks and Rec, that would appear here as well. So once you've read through both of these and you understand what you're agreeing to, you want to click agree. And then you will be taken to the final steps here to submit your application, which is to re-enter your password for your One Degree account. And that's it. You will have submitted your application for public benefits using the Common App tool. So I'm going to pause here and just see if Cecilia has any questions through Padlet that we may need to answer, or if we can move on to our live demonstration on the webpage.
Hi, yes, we are getting some responses, and I'm helping some community members and viewers get some answers. But maybe here's one question. How does the Common App simplify the application process compared to the online application through DPSS?
Yeah, so Common App simplifies the process by allowing you to only enter your common information once, where a lot of times with other electronic applications, you have to do for separate programs. But this is allowing you to do for those programs all together and only have to enter certain information one time. The other benefit is that you have the help of our resource management team to be able to live chat with us or ask us questions through our help desk as well. So it does cut down on the time it takes you to complete the application, but also increases the amount of support you might have in completing the application. Other questions, Cecilia?
Let's see here. Why are an ID and utility bill required for submissions? Thank you for that response, Sean. I also responded to them.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and go into our web page here and we'll do a demonstration application. So I'm going to take a minute here to stop our screen and pull up our actual web page. So we can go in and take a look at our actual Common App tool. So just a reminder that this is actually just a demonstration. And so I'm going to just be making up some personal information about a random person I have created for today's demonstration. So Cecilia, can you see the Common App screen here just to make sure I'm on the right page? Awesome. Thank you very much. So this is what your main screen of the Common App tool looks like. And just to remember that the Common App is at commonapp.onedegree.org, and that's the number one, not one spelled out. But you can also find it if you just go to onedegree.org, the number one, and you'll be able to locate the Common App through there as well. So we'll go ahead and click on Get Started here. And like I showed you in the presentation, you'll be asked to select what county you currently live in. So you can select none of the above. So say none of these counties are the county I live in. And like we said, you can still find out what information and what may be available to you through the county that you are in. So I'm going to go ahead and select California, but maybe you're outside of the 9 counties we serve or outside of Los Angeles. So I'm going to go ahead and put Kern County. And I'll go ahead and click submit here just to show you what it looks like when you are outside of our current service area. So we're working to make sure that we have, that we expand to other California counties and other states. But in the interim, you can use the links down here to apply to CalFresh and apply to Medi-Cal in your county if we don't currently cover it. So I'm going to click on try another county. And for today, I'm just going to look at San Francisco and go through the application process for San Francisco. So you can see here, this is the benefits that I can choose from. And again, this is the little link to be able to read the program details. So if I wanted to read more about CalFresh, it'll display a little information box here. And if I want to learn even more, I can click learn more and it'll take me to a new page here for the government on what CalFresh is and more information. I'm going to take us back to our actual Common App. So you can do the same for San Francisco Park and Recs if you want to learn more information or through subsidized health insurance through Medi-Cal. Same, there's a learn more link here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to do CalFresh, SF Parks and Rec, and Medi-Cal. And down here at the bottom, it gives me an estimated total time for the applications. So you can see here, this should take about 24 minutes. It's going to take a little less than that because I've already done some of the common information prior to today. But if I had just selected CalFresh, it would only take me 10 minutes. If I selected Medi-Cal, it would only take me 13 minutes. I apologize. That is my dog who wants to join in on today's presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and click start application. She's very excited for you to be able to complete your Common App, which is why she is barking. So here is where you will see our required permissions here that we talked about, our 3 required permissions. Yes, I am willing to create a 1-degree account. Yes, I am willing to be asked about my self and my household members, and I'm willing to be asked about my income and my household members' income. These are our optional permissions here. So again, you don't have to give this information. It can speed up the time it takes for your application to be processed, but it isn't necessary for us to submit your application. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes, just to show you what it looks like. And I'm going to click I understand. And this is where if I didn't have an account, I could sign up for an account by either entering an email or creating a password or entering a cell phone number. I can also, if I use Google Suite, I can set up an account through my Google account and Gmail. So I'm going to use my community account here. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. So you can see I actually already started some of the information here. So I'm going to actually go in and restart my application by removing this benefit. And you can see now it says I can start a new application. So I'm going to click on the 3 options for public benefits here and click continue. So you can see I've already entered a lot of this information. So this is where you'll give information about how much your household made in income in the last 30 days. Employment income, including self-employment, if you happen to get any unemployment income or child support or any other income. So other income would be anything that's not covered in these 3 categories up here. And so then there's a total down here. So you want to have this match what is on your your paycheck information or your tax information. And this is what you made before taxes were taken out. It's the number that they're looking for here. And so you can see again down here, this is telling me how much of the application I have completed. So far I've only completed 9% of the application. So let's get moving through the rest of it. So this is asking me about my other financial resources. So how much money do I have saved, such as, a checking account or a savings account, any other cash I might have. And again, this is just an example. So I just put an example number in here. This isn't how much I actually have in my checking account. This is our example person. So we're going to move on to our monthly expenses. And so this is asking the information influences the amount of CalFresh benefits you may qualify for. So this is asking kind of what my monthly rent is, or if you have a mortgage payment, and what you spend typically on utilities in a month. Again, this is an example number. I know most people probably spend a little bit more on utilities in a month, especially with the heat that's come through the Bay. Okay, so this is information about my household here. And you can see my made up person, John Smith. If I wanted to add more folks to John Smith's household, I can by clicking add person. But I live alone, so I don't need to add any extra people here. So I can also remove this person. And I want to say, yes, I definitely just want to apply for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. So now I've completed the common information section and I've moved into the CalFresh specific questions for this application. And so just to note, if you don't have all of this information right now, you can still submit your application and wait for the county to contact you. Or you can go ahead and proceed through if you do have the information. If you want to make sure you have the correct information, you can also, I'm going to show you this, you can save and log out. And so you can see I have logged out and I can go down here and click, I've already started. So I'm going to log back in to my account here. And go back to my application. My apologies, my computer is a little slow today. There we go. So you can see it tells me I've already started. I'm into the CalFresh part of my application and I am 21% completed. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my application. It takes me right back to where I was when I logged out. And so I'm going to continue here. So again, I'm only applying for myself and I'm only applying with my example person here, John Smith. I could totally add a person to this application if I'd like to. So for instance, say I have people in my house who I share meals with, but I'm not going to share my health insurance with them. So I could add people to my household that I may share food and expenses with. And I can do that here. But again, it's just me, so I'm going to just process it with just my own information. Again, if I had more folks in my household, I would be able to click specific people. So this is the other benefit of applying through the Common App tool is that in the common information section, I could enter all of my household and then only apply them to certain applications. So again, it's just me, so I'm going to click John Smith. And I want to make sure that I put here, I want to be interviewed by phone. Right now, because of shelter in place, there isn't an in-person option. You can click in person, but they will still just call you. So they will contact you by phone. Your county worker will contact you by phone. And so I've answered all the questions now for CalFresh, and I'm moving into SF Recreation and Park Scholarship. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And again, just to note, if you don't have all the information at this time, you can save your application and come back to it. Okay, so I'm going to select myself again and hit continue. And so here I want to enter my total annual household income, and you want to give your best estimate if it changes from year to year. So I'm going to put what I had at the beginning and hit continue. And then here it's asking you about your housing, and this helps determine your eligibility for this particular public benefit. So I'm going to say no, I don't live in San Francisco public housing. I'm going to hit continue. And this then takes me to the Medi-Cal application section. And so you can see here, this is the similar information that I showed you in the PowerPoint presentation, that we're going to need our social security number. And again, adding a social security number is optional. If I don't have a social security number, I will have to have my documentation for applicants with immigration status. I'll also need my employer and income information for my family members, and any federal tax information for myself and my dependents. Again, this information is protected under our HIPAA policies. So anything that you put in your common application is going to be private. And the only people who will see it is our 1 Degree team, and we only see it to be able to submit your application. So it's asking me here about my main contact for Medi-Cal, which is me. And then it's just reviewing my home address, which I put into the common information section, as well as my phone number, which again, I completed in the common information section. And then you want to make sure that you select here how you want to get information about your application for Medi-Cal. So I prefer to get everything by email. But you may prefer to get things by getting a phone call about it, or you may like receiving actual paper mail. You are allowed to pick any of these. I just happen to prefer email, so I'm going to select email. And again, you can see down here, we're about halfway through our application. So it says we're 48% complete, and so we'll keep moving through. So it's asking me who is applying for health insurance. And so again, if I had entered more household members when I was entering my common information section, they would appear here and I could select from that list. But I only entered myself, so I'm just going to click on my friend John Smith here. And it's going to ask me some more information about myself. So I am single, at least John Smith is single, and John doesn't have a disability that he needs help to apply for this application. But if you did have a disability and need help applying, you could click yes. So then it's going to ask some info about your federal income tax. And so it's going to ask if you are the primary tax filer, which John is. And it's going to ask if anyone can claim you as a dependent. If someone can claim you as a dependent, it means that you're not actually the primary tax filer. So I am not being claimed as a dependent. So I'm going to click no. I am a US citizen, and so I'm going to click yes. If you are not a US citizen, it doesn't change your application. It just changes the way that your application may be processed. So don't hesitate to continue through the application if you aren't a US citizen. Then it's going to ask me some information about how I get my income and what current jobs I have. So right now I get my paycheck from an employer. And I get paid I get paid twice a month. And I get paid, I'm just going to say a similar number here that I put at the beginning. If I had more than one job, which I know some people do, you can add another job here. You can add up to 4 jobs on this application. If you have more than 4 jobs, reach out to us at help@onedegree.org. We can help you finish your application. So if you had another job, you would add another job and it would ask you these same questions about that employment. I don't have any self-employed income, but if I did, I would click yes, and it would ask me similar questions to what it asked me about my paid income through an employer. I don't, so I'm going to select no. And then it's going to ask me any other sources of income I might have. So I can click here and see what they mean by other income. And so if you receive any unemployment benefits, or you have retirement, or you have rents that comes to you, or you have alimony that you receive, or any court awards, any kind of miscellaneous income that might come your way. I don't have any of those, so I'm going to select no, and I'm going to hit continue. So we're almost done with our specific application questions here. And this is the blue pencil we were talking about. If any of my information is incorrect, I can click on the blue pencil and say, nope, I got to go back here and make sure this is all right. And it is. So I'm going to click back to review and just make sure all of my information is correct. And it looks right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and total household size looks good. And now I'm going to review all of my answers for CalFresh. And those are all what I had anticipated. So I'm going to click next and then review my Medi-Cal information. And all of this looks to be what I had said. So looks good to me. So we're almost there. This is the last piece, is to review the SF Recreation and Park Scholarship. And all of this information looks good as well. So now we're on to our uploading our documents. So just a reminder that you'll need your password to submit your application. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And you'll see here that Social Security is optional. I've already put mine in, and I can edit it if I needed to. And again, this data is protected by your password. So all the information in your account, part of why we ask you to create an account to use the Common App tool, is to make sure that we are protecting your information and abiding by HIPAA policies. So I'm going to click continue here, and you can see there's a whole list of things that I could upload if I chose to. But for sure, I need to upload these two documents here for proof of residency. I need to upload one of these documents here for SF Parks and Recreation. If I don't have any of these documents right now, I can click and have them contact me with next steps so that I can submit them later. I also, again, can save and log out and come back when I have all those documents. So I have a document uploaded here already, but you can see picture identification examples here. I'm going to remove the document I recently had to show you kind of how to do this. So for this picture identification, you want to upload your driver's license or state ID card or your passport. So I'm going to choose a file here, and I actually downloaded somewhere in here there we go. This is a example driver's license for California, and I'm going to upload it and click done. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to upload my example utility bill. So you can see this is a sample PG&E bill here. I'm going to click upload. And I'm going to click done. Down here in Parks and Rec, I just saw a question come through on the Padlet saying, what is SSI? So current SSI stands for current Social Security income. So this is if you receive anything from Social Security disability through the government. So this does not include if you are on state disability, which would be short-term disability. So say you're taking time off from work for medical illness or for some kind of medical procedure, you would be on state disability. And this is meaning those who are on long-term disability through Social Security. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, Cecilia is there. All right, so I could also, as you see here, I could upload other documents if I had them. So say I was only applying for Medi-Cal, and I actually happen to already have CalFresh food stamps, I could upload my food stamp card here to show that I already qualify for one public benefit. I could also upload proof of household income, which CalFresh is going to ask me for anyway. I could go ahead and upload it here to submit alongside my application. This can help speed up the time it takes to process your application. And same with healthcare coverage. They're going to ask for these documents when the county reaches out to you. And so you can also go ahead and upload those here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And then you can see here, this takes me to the terms that I'm agreeing to for all 3 of my public benefits. And so I just want to scroll through and make sure I understand what I am agreeing to. So primarily, this is just reminding me that I am giving my information to the county, and I want to make sure that I'm giving the most correct information that I possibly can. And so I'm going to scroll through that here. And then for Medi-Cal, same thing. I understand that I gave as true of information as I could for Medi-Cal, and that I'm over 18 and applying for the application. And again, for San Francisco Recreation and Park Scholarship. And so once I have read through those, I can click agree. If you have any questions about these terms or agreements, you can also email us at help@onedegree.org, and we will do our best to help. So I'm going to hit agree. And then here is where I would put in my password to be able to submit my application. But just because today is a demonstration example, I'm not going to enter my password because I don't want to submit this example application to the county. So I'm going to go ahead and just save and log out of my application. So if I had submitted and I wanted to go back and look, when I log in, you'll see where it says up here, my application. This shows me where I'm at in the status of my application. So I'm very close to completing. It also shows me what benefits I had selected. And if I decided, after I started that I actually don't want one of these public benefits, I could remove it from my application, or I can go back in and finish the last step, which is submitting it. So that is the Common App application. And with that, John has applied for Common App. And so what happens now is that on our end, we take and submit your application to the county, and then the county reaches out to you and contacts you about the public benefits you've applied for. So let me exit out of here and go back to our presentation to cover some last few things. So once you've applied for, you finish your Common App application, it'll show up. For those of you who have a One Degree account, you know about your My Plan and your homepage. And for those of you that haven't set up your One Degree account yet, this is basically the page that shows up when you log into your account through onedegree.org. That's the number 1 degree.org. And this is where your applications will show up. And so you want to make sure that you can update this to say when you have completed your application or you've heard from the county. We actually don't submit any of the we don't follow any of the applications ourselves because that goes through the county. We just submit it for you. So we don't know where your application is within the county. So you'll want to contact your county and then you can go in here once the county has contacted you and update this to say that you've utilized the resource. You want to make sure the county has contacted you before you go in and say you've utilized the resource and that you've actually finished your application. So we went to the demo. So like we said, you may need to get support from your county if you have any specific questions about your application. So we can tell you if your application was submitted or not. We can't really tell you what benefits you've qualified for, what that looks like. That's through the county. So if you have questions about that, you can go to and give a call to the Covered California Service Center. You can contact Lillian Bautista at SF Parks and Rec Scholarship, or you can look for your county social services agency for any CalFresh questions. So getting help with your application, you can actually contact us as you're going through the Common App tool. And so we have live support available Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And intermittently in the afternoons, excluding holidays. And this little yellow box here is what it looks like if you're on our website, and you can type in your name and your question, and somebody will get back to you. You can also check out our frequently asked question page. It also has all of the common questions about the Common App. There's a section specifically for it. And so you can go to either one of these links in English or in Spanish. And you can also come back and watch this video anytime through the link that you used to join us today. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'm just going to check in with Cecilia and see if we have any other questions that might need to be answered.
Hi, Sean. Yes, we're getting a lot of great questions from our community members.
Awesome.
So let's see, here's one. What is the time frame for submitting an application after being contacted with the county?
That is a great question. It really depends on your county. Typically, I believe it's about 2 weeks that it takes for the county to respond back to you. But again, it depends on which county you're in and how their applications go through the county service agency.
Awesome, thank you. Let's see another question that we have here. Sorry, just ran into issues right now and loading up my screen. How do you communicate with clients for any incomplete or incorrect info on their application?
Oh, great question. So you'll get reminder emails about your application that will let you know if you haven't completed. So I actually just got an email this morning telling me that I've almost finished my application through Common App. So you'll get a supporter email just kind of reminding you, hey, you're still in the process of applying. Do you want to log back in and finish your application? And that'll come, I think it's like once a week is when those come out.
Yeah, it's a periodic reminder. And I think they just overall wanted just a bit more clarification on the uploading of documents. There was some questions around, can you upload an image from your phone, which you can on your cell phone. It does also get PDF and JPEGs. And the Common App is also accessible on your mobile device, which is great. I think those are our main questions for some of our participants here. Yeah. Oh, and is this information on the database used for any other purposes beyond applying for benefits?
No, it is not. It is only used to apply for benefits. Same with your information on our primary platform on One Degree. If you're searching for resources through your One Degree account, that information is primarily for you as well. We don't use that information for anything else. That is your account and your tool to help you access resources.
Awesome. I think those are our main questions that were left over.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you all so much for joining us today. This is one of our first live to YouTube webinars that we've made public. And so we're very thankful for all of you for joining us and taking time out of your day to learn more about the Common App. I think the last point I would want to make is that if you are a nonprofit worker joining us today, Just a reminder that this is for your clients, for our community members to submit their applications, just like the regular Medi-Cal and CalFresh applications. The person applying is supposed to complete the application themselves. You can support them in doing that through the Common App tool, since you've now seen this webinar. But again, it's supposed to be for the community to access those public benefits easier. Again, if you have any questions or if you want to learn more, you're always welcome to reach back out to us. And Cecilia and I are here to help guide you through using OneDegree. We are very thankful you joined us, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a great weekend. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you back next Thursday. We'll be having our webinar again in Spanish. So look forward to that, and we will see you again then. Bye, everyone.